Hey guys, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are back in the messy laundry room again, and today I'm here for a Dance Moms Season 9 predictions video, part 2, because you guys asked for a part 2. If you haven't seen the first one, I will link that down in the description box below. But anyways, let's hop right into this. Before we do though, if you're brand new to my channel, welcome. If you'd like to join the constellation, make sure to smash that juicy red subscribe button and of course tap the bell notification so that you get a reminder every single time that I post a new video. And all that being said, let's hop right into this one. So at this point, Abby has made many hints towards the fact that there's going to be a season 9. She's kind of doing the same kind of build up on social media that she does every single year before there's going to be a new season and before it's going to be announced that there's a new season. I personally believe that they're going to be filming season 9. It's going to be starting up in the beginning of January, maybe in like a week from now, hopefully, with a potential air date. I'm thinking of like June 4th, same kind of production schedule that they did for season 8. Now, all that being said, regardless of like all of the dips in ratings that Dance Moms has had and like how that's been widely talked about in the media, and despite all of that, Dance Moms is still Lifetime's #1 running show, like since the spawn of the series back in season 1. So business-wise, it wouldn't make sense for them to not continue the show. I personally think that regardless of Abby or any of the dancers returning, that Lifetime would still produce the show. They would still go out and find a choreographer. They would still literally do whatever it takes to scramble something together and call it Dance Moms. And even if the ratings still dipped, it would still be their highest rated show until it literally just goes into a black hole. So that's why I feel like Dance Moms keeps going. Like, sure, it's not at the peak where it used to be in like season 4 or season 5. I'm not sure when the ratings were at their highest, but probably around like season 4, I'm thinking. But they're still going to run with the show. I can pretty much guarantee that. Like, crossing my fingers, but I'm pretty much going to guarantee that. Now, I think they will for sure be bringing back Cami and her mom, Adriana. The reason why I do think that is because they have like this kind of feisty energy that is going to keep the drama going on Dance Moms. But also, Abby has a tendency to be bringing in new talent, and in order for the show to keep going, they need to be bringing in fresh new talent every single season, and not just counting on the same dancers that are there. So they need to kind of have like a cycle where some people will age out of the group at the end, and then they'll be bringing in new dancers every year, and then the meat of the group will still be there from season to season, but there'll just be a couple people aging out, or maybe even just one person every season. But that's why I do think that they'll be bringing back Adriana, I think that was her name, and Cami. But also, I do think that that is depending, because Abby kind of gave her like an open-ended invitation, just like so many other dancers that have been on the show, because it's kind of like Abby knows her niche. She knows she's looking for highly technical, contortionistic, acrobatic dancers. She's really great at choreographing lyrical. She works with Gianna. Gianna and Abby share the same kind of strengths and the same style. And so for them to be looking for somebody that's really good at commercial jazz and hip hop, I don't think is really the direction that they're going to be going with the show. I feel like they've done enough trial and error to realize that, okay, this is going to work for like a specialty number here and there, but it's not Abby and Gianna's thing to be choreographing like hip-hop and industry standards for 2019. It's literally the audience of Dance Moms combined with Abby and Gianna. We want to see, for the most part, lyrical dancing, pretty technical acrobatic dancing. We expect contortionistic flexibility. That's kind of like the entire brand of Dance Mom. That's always what we've been given, and so that's what we expect to see, and so that's the audience they've built up. It would kind of be like if James Charles, king of literally the sisters and makeup on YouTube, decided to start posting automotives. Or maybe not that big of a jump, but like if he started posting only like male health stuff and started talking about like just his health and fitness regime, like he would lose so much of his audience because his audience is there for makeup. So I don't think it would be smart, and I don't think that they're really going to be focusing on anything that's too industry standard at this point. When it comes to like commercial jazz and hip hop, I do think that they're going to be focusing mainly on highly technical, acrobatic, lyrical, that kind of dancing that we've always seen. So if Cami, for example, has taken this year to work on her technique, to work on her flexibility, and to fit inside that ALDC mold, because Abby has made it very clear she needs these dancers that fit her mold. And so if Cami's done that work to fit that mold and so that she can blend in the group, then I think that she definitely would have a spot on the season 9 team, but we'll see. But I don't think that if she were to have continued working on her hip hop and her commercial jazz and all of those things that you really need to book jobs in Hollywood right now, if she didn't work on her ballet technique, I don't see Abby bringing her back, because that was kind of the whole thing in the beginning. She brought her on, she loved her style, she loved her energy, but she was looking for somebody that had better technique and a higher level of technique so that they could blend in with the group. Now, Abby left that off to Cameron, so whatever she did this year, I'm not sure, but we could potentially be seeing her back for season 9. I'm totally guessing that. Now, I do expect that Abby will be auditioning some more dancers to join the team, probably in like the 6 to 10 age bracket is what I'm predicting, in order to bring in fresh young talent. Like I was saying, they need to be bringing in new, younger dancers every year, and other dancers that are in like 15, 16 years old need to be aging off of the team, just in order for the show to keep going and progressing and to still have a competition team that's like a junior elite team. Now, I feel like season 9 will be very technical, like I was saying, and I feel like it'll be very acro heavy, because at this point Abby is just going to stick with her micro niche, because that is what works in 2019. People want to see Abby doing what Abby does best, and Abby does acro, she does musical theater, she does contemporary and lyrical and tap, and those are her best styles, and I don't think that we're going to see her venturing much outside of that. She's probably going to be trying really hard to push forward with that brand to really leave a mark, so that she can really continue with her brand whether she goes with the show or not, because she has all of her apparel and she's going to be starting her talk show and all of that. So I feel like she really is just going to keep going forward with the same brand, and she already tried kind of incorporating industry standards like hip hop and doing the ALDC LA thing and bringing in all of these urban styles, and it didn't really work for her in my perspective. So as far as the season 8 team, I've thought about it, and I don't expect Brady to return, honestly. I think that he's probably getting too old to be on this team in like the eyes of Lifetime and Abby, and I feel like they're wanting to keep it as a junior elite team, and Brady really wants to focus on ballet. So I gave it a second thought, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that he'll be coming back at all. And also, I don't think that Gianna will be coming back now, because I originally thought that she would be at least coming back for a couple episodes, but after she started posting working with professionals in terms of producing music and stuff, I was kind of thinking, like, is she going to be back with Abby? Because Abby doesn't really like when you don't work within the cookie cutter mold of Abby Lee Miller, and while you're doing music and you're doing your own thing, Abby sees that as a threat, I think, and so she wants dancers that will do literally exactly what she says, but only what she says. So I think that's the kind of loyalty that Abby expects, and just by seeing that Gianna is branching out and pursuing her other dreams, I'm not sure that she's going to be back for season 8, or for season 9, sorry. I also 100% expect Sarah and Michelle to be back for season 9. Abby's posted all over social media, like, her adoration for Michelle, showing her adoration her own little way. But I feel like even though season 8 was focused on all of the drama between Sarah and Michelle, and it kind of looked like there was all of this tension between her and Abby, I feel like a lot of that was manufactured by the producers, and the only real thing that we were seeing that was authentic was Michelle and Sarah's emotional responses, because I don't think that those are ever fake. Like, people say that they don't want to see people hyperventilating and like doing it fakely, and I don't think that any of the kids or parents or anybody are ever crying or like faking a panic attack. I think that is all absolutely 100% real. It is definitely an extremely stressful situation to be in, and I think that that's something that people see, that it's really stressful, but I think they even underestimate just how stressful it would be to be filming that TV show and having all that pressure, whether you're a mom or a kid or Abby or anybody that's involved in the show. Now, at this point, I'm thinking there's a huge chance that Abby may be inviting back both Hanna and her little brother William. Mostly because William really fits into the exact same age category that Abby would be trying to bring in new young talent onto the team, and also because now Abby is open to working with boys on this junior elite team, and we've seen that William is very dedicated and really adores Abby, so that would lead for a very respectful and dedicated dancer on the team. And again, just like Cammie, if William took this time to really work on his technique in the past year, I don't see why Abby wouldn't consider bringing him onto the team, or at least to bring him onto the show for little features, because I feel like in terms of like a business and marketing perspective, it would be great for the show to have another pair of siblings, because if you think back to the beginning, like the viewers loved the relationship between Maddie and Mackenzie, and of course we have the mom and daughter relationship, which is what Dance Moms is kind of focused around, but the audience really did love the relationships with the siblings. So like Brooke and Paige, like there's so many fan groups out there that are like Highlands, or so many fan groups out there that are like for the Zieglers specifically. So in terms of business and marketing, I think that is why the show is extremely successful. Like that's one of the like factors that made it really successful in the beginning, is because there was pairs of siblings, and I think that that's super important. And also, even though Clara wasn't on the team, did you notice that we always saw Clara on Dance Moms as well, or at least she would be mentioned or something like that, and so that was Chloe's sibling as well. So I do think that having a sibling dynamic on the show is great to bring in more viewers, because it helps the younger kids feel like they can relate to these dancers, because most kids out there have siblings as well. And so I think that that makes the kids more relatable when they do that, and so I would not be surprised if they brought on William for this next season. And I personally expect Presley and Ashley to return as well. They definitely brought the drama in the last season, and they kind of need that for the show. That's like the gasoline for the show. But honestly, I do believe that Abby's going to continue to overlook Presley going into this next season if she does come back, because Abby does best with highly technical, like contortionistic acrobats, and Presley is a dynamic dancer and she's a versatile dancer, but she danced for Justin Bieber, and she is like a commercial dancer and a hip-hop dancer and a contemporary dancer. And I feel like Dance Moms has been a great platform for Presley to get exposure and to build a name for herself as a dancer. But I do feel like that, just like Gianna, Presley excels at commercial styles, and she'll thrive outside of the confines of the show, but we've seen time and time again that Abby does not pay attention to people if they don't fit inside her cookie cutter mold. She kind of sees these kids as like a cash cow if they're amazing and versatile, but also like fit inside the ALDC pressed cookie cutter of being extremely flexible and highly technical and an acrobat. That's what Abby is looking for. But I predict that Paris also will be back for season 9. I think that season 9 will be an opportunity for her to show like really what she's made of and what she can do, and I look forward to Abby working with Paris in this next season if she gets to come back. I do predict that she will be back. All that being said, I have a hunch that season 9 will not be the last season of Dance Moms, but I do believe it may be the last season with like Abby and Gianna and this actual entire team and Dance Moms how we've always known it, because Abby is getting older now. She had financial burdens, and at the end of this season I feel like she'll have all of her finances under control. She'll be trying to extend into opportunities outside of Dance Moms. Like she already has this Abby Talks talk show that she's producing, and she's always talking about other opportunities and shows that she has going on. So I feel like she'll be trying to segue out of Dance Moms and plan for retirement, and Abby's mentioned in the past that she really figured that she would be a producer at this point, so I could see her producing Dance Moms, or maybe, yeah, getting on the team with Lifetime, but I don't think that she wants to literally be choreographing until she retires. And so I feel like after all of her finances are under control, that she's probably going to segue off of the show. Now, the big question left for me is season 9 going to take place in Pittsburgh, or is it going to take place in LA? Because we saw that season 8 took place in Pittsburgh again, and that Abby took back her studio that the other team was renting while she was gone. But if you pay attention to social media, you'll realize that the former ALDC studio in LA doesn't actually exist anymore. Abby has a studio in LA, but it's really small, and I don't think that it's a big enough facility to house the entire rehearsal schedule and production schedule and that entire team to come in with cameras and have like a team of dancers rehearsing to go to competition every week. So unless the production company, Lifetime, literally goes out and buys her a studio in LA, I don't think that we're going to be seeing ALDC in LA, because Abby already went out and she bought the ALDC LA studio on her own dime, and that didn't work out for her, and that's why she doesn't have it anymore, and she said it was extremely expensive, and it was just like a giant undertaking that didn't work. So I have zero faith that Abby's going to try and do that again on her own coin. So if Lifetime wants to buy a TV studio and like a dance studio that they can use exclusively for filming Dance Moms in LA, then I think that we'll see it in LA. But aside from that, I think that season 9 will be back in Pittsburgh, and I do think that they figured it was more relatable being in Pittsburgh, because more people that are watching the show are not people from LA, because people that are from LA are like so seasoned and attuned to the LA industry that they're usually more interested in like hip hop and commercial jazz styles, and that's why every other dance show is centered around commercial styles and Dance Moms is centered around classical styles. Not like classical ballet, but like tap, jazz, lyrical, contemporary. So I feel like that is what I'm kind of wondering in the end. Is it going to be in LA or is it going to be in Pittsburgh? But I'm pretty positive that it's going to be in Pittsburgh if it happens. Now, the last question I have is about Gianna. Is Gianna going to be back to choreograph for season 9? And more importantly, since Gianna tries to stay in the background, like, what is she going to be doing after Dance Moms? Because she's tried to keep everything low-key forever. She's not somebody that is a social media queen. She's not out there choreographing for anybody else that I know of. Her loyalty is directly to Abby and always has been. And she kind of learned how to be a coach. She learned all of that through Abby. She grew up as one of Abby's dancers. So I have no idea if she's just going to continue to be under Abby's wing going forward, even if they cancel the show. I could see Gianna being loyal to Abby and still working for her studio, even if Abby retires herself. But I don't know if she would ever take the foreground of the show and be like the host or the like drama of the show. I don't think that she would ever want to be in the foreground of Dance Moms. She's kind of always wanted to be in the background, and I think that that's why she chose to be a choreographer instead of a dancer in the first place. But I think that is it for my Season 9 predictions. Like I said, I will leave my first video of Dance Moms Season 9 predictions down in the description box below if you want to check out the first video. And thank you for watching this one. Let me know all of your guys' predictions down in the comments below as well. Do you guys think that there's going to be a Dance Moms Season 9? And what do you think about my predictions? Do you think I'm totally off, or do you think some of those might be bang on? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But that is it for this video. So as always, make sure to subscribe if you're brand new here and you want to see more videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!